Hawaii, and it is the next morning. Right now, New York, 9 p.m. Los Angeles time. It's about to get quite wild. We got a lot of calls coming in, and it's been quite busy right here at Third Phase of the Moon. I got to tell you, things I would have never thought I would have seen, and now we're seeing them right now. History is being broken in regards to the Sphinx, in my opinion. Inner chambers within the Sphinx over there in Egypt. Come on, why isn't this in the history books, people? Have you ever seen or heard in history or scholars talking about chambers? It's easy. Why can't we just open it up, send in some archaeologists and see what it's all about, reveal it to the world? I'm sure it's already been looted, people, and the treasures aren't there. It's in secret hands right now, but give it up. Let's tell it to the people that there are some chambers in there and there's something going on. It even goes down all the way to the body. So much information came in from the public in regards to our news last night. Also, what was quite incredible was this close encounter with the Men in Black. Let me tell you, LaRouque captured these guys. He says they were following him around for years now, 30 years. He's been abducted, and he's got a feeling that has a lot to do with this eerie visitation by the Men in Black. I think you guys seen this. And if any of you guys want to chime in on what you thought about the videos and the evidence I've just explained this past minute, feel free to share your thoughts. Now, the number to call in is 347-934-0378. We want to get new callers in, new stories. So let's get to it. I'm going to go to a phone number I've never seen before. So let's bring them up right now. And Third Phase of Moon live radio has just begun. 863, you're live, Third Phase of Moon. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Lakeland, Florida.
In Florida, what city?
Lakeland.
Lakeland. Okay. Your name?
It's between Tampa and Orlando.
Gotcha. What was your name, sir? You're a little muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me change phone here. I'm on Bluetooth here. My name is Alonzo.
All right, man. We got to get clear lines. We got to get good, clear audio so we could hear what the evidence coming in right now to Third Phase Moon. We'll go back to the caller and see if we could clear things up. Let's get to an anonymous caller. If you're there, say hello.
Hello.
Yep, that's you. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Beverly.
Hey, Beverly. You got a UFO sighting
Hi.
you want to share tonight? Welcome to We're live right now.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Back on the date of April the 24th in the year 2009.
All right.
And it was 10:15 a.m. in the morning. And the reason why I know it was 10:15 because I wrote it down because I've had many encounters in my life. And here's an overview of what happened. I was in an area called Langley, BC, which is probably about 45 kilometers from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I was going out to see my sister. And when I got there, surprising my sister in the morning, I knocked on the door and there was no answer. My sister says, I called her up on the phone, the cell phone. She says, just hang around, go for coffee, and I'll be back in a bit. So I decided to walk towards a coffee shop in Langley, BC. And I had this really strange feeling like I was being watched. And so I looked up in the air because I've had this feeling before. It's very electrical. I call it the all-knowing feeling. And when I looked up in the air, miles and miles away towards the mountains, which are in Maple Ridge, BC, I saw this little black dot in the sky. And I'm like, aha, that's where you are. So this little black dot in the sky stayed there for about 5 minutes or so, and then I continued onwards towards the coffee shop, and I got my coffee and my scone, and when I started heading back towards my sister's place, I was passing like a police station and a kids' skateboarding park on the right side of the road. And then this telepathic voice in my head said, Beverly, come into the field, step into this field. And I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, why do I want to go in that field there? There's nothing in that field for me, right? And it's not really en route to my sister's place, but this coaxing voice said, come into the field, come into the field. So I just thought, this is crazy. But I ended up going into the field and sitting down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That takes guts. That takes guts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous, right? But I just sort of went with the feeling, and then when I was in the field, I felt very self-conscious because there was a couple of fellas working in that field that were municipal workers. I guess they were sort of doing a bit of groundwork and stuff, and I was thinking, boy, you know, if they look backwards in the field, they're going to see this woman in the field and wonder why she's in this field. But anyway, I just went with this feeling, and what they said to me telepathically was sit down and relax and just sort of chill and meditate a little bit. So I thought, this is just unbelievable. Okay, so I put my coffee down, and I bowed my head, and I just started to meditate. So I must have been in this like peaceful state for maybe about 5 to 8 minutes approximately. But when I opened up my eyes, I could not believe what I was seeing. When initially what happened was I saw this flashing and flickering of light low to the ground, and it had this wobble. It wasn't very big, but it took trajectory upwards and into the sky, and then it was in front of me, and I thought, oh my God, like, this is unbelievable. There was these big, like, sharp-looking or pointy-looking lights coming off of it as well. It was incredible. It was just absolutely mesmerizing to look at this thing. And I thought, I am absolutely dreaming this. So I thought, I need some confirmation about this object that's in the sky. So I ran really fast to these municipal worker guys in the field. I says, can you have a look at this in the sky?
Good.
And when they looked,
that's what you need to do.
Yeah, the confirmation, but this is really strange. So they looked, and then they looked at me, and they go, look at, like, see what? I'm like, that thing in the sky. And, you know, the guy kept looking at me. He knew that I could see something in the sky. And so he looked in the sky again, and he stared in the sky a little bit longer. And he looked back at me, then he looked in the sky, and he goes, oh, my God. He goes, what the hell is that? And he says, okay, you can see it, right? But it took a while for him to see it, which is incredible. And the other fellow that was working with him, I asked him to have a look at it as well. Same thing, he was staring in the sky, and then finally he did see it. But it really was an incredible experience with telepathy playing out as well. So that's one of my experiences, and I'm happy to share it with everybody.
Wow, that's really cool, Beverly. But you know what? This is really neat, because when an eyewitness, is basically being invited to come and experience this, and then she had in mind, before she even went there, to notice these municipal workers, and then to get the confirmation. Wow, that's good. I like Beverly's story. It sounds like you experienced something that you can't explain. These guys maybe didn't have an eye for it in the beginning, what to look for, but when they did, they saw this. So, Beverly, hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Keep your eyes on the skies. Wow, that's really cool. Let's get to another caller. You never know what kind of great stories you're going to hear. Let's get to it. Let's bring in 417. You're live, Third Phase of Minute.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name?
Matt.
You could call me Blake. Go ahead.
Okay. I have quite a story to tell you about.
Okay, you got a story? We got to hear you. I can't hear you, Max.
Okay, I have a story that I think that aliens can control the weather.
Aliens did what?
That aliens can control the weather.
Aliens can control the weather. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying that there's technology out there that's already been seen before our eyes. I know there's a lot of videos we got on Third Phase Moon that are unbelievable, and I got a feeling there's some kind of technology going on. So what makes you think this? Did you see it for yourself?
Yes. Basically, me and my ex-fiance witnessed it, but he was killed in the tornado that, basically, he was woken up and they abducted us into the UFO and told us about a tornado that was going to hit the next day. And
Okay, hold on a second. Matt, I can't hear you. You're coming in muffled. You're talking about a tornado, but I got to hear you clear. Can you fix this up, or I got to move on to the next caller?
Okay, can you hear me good now?
A little closer and a little louder, please. Go ahead. I'll give you one more shot.
Okay.
So there's a tornado approaching.
Yes. They told us about the tornado that was going to hit Joplin, Missouri.
All right. Okay. It sounds like a quite incredible, harrowing story that we're just about to hear. But if I can't hear it, we got to move on. So let's get to it. I'm going to be getting to callers right now. Let's bring in 520. 520. You're live. Third phase of minute.
Hi. I have several. I live right next to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. It's a big military base where they've done the testing for Project Bluebeam and all that.
Yes.
Well, my house actually faces Fort Huachuca, and one night I was taking pictures of a light with my phone, and I got stuck on my roof taking pictures of this thing. And the pictures that I got on my phone were incredible, like nothing I've ever seen before. And I have friends with the Border Patrol and the military, and neither one of them knew what it could be. Well, that prompted me to put a video camera on my roof and a motion-activated, security camera. And I have several videos of UFOs. I mean, some of them, the ones that I have, they are going really, really fast in the picture. But when you slow it down and do frame by frame and you can take a screenshot and blow it up, it's quite clear what it is. But I also have video of a green laser. I don't know if it's coming down out of the sky or if it's going up, but I have a video of a green laser and one of a purple laser. I tried to upload it, I think, to your site, but I don't know if it went through or not.
Possible. The laser, what do you mean? Were you being, was it shooting straight up? Was it pointed at you?
No, not at me. I got it on camera, on video. It's on video. You can see plain as day this green laser, and you can see it moving in the video. It's weird, and it's a bright green, and then I have one that's bright purple. So
where are these lasers coming from? Who's shooting lasers?
I don't know, but I do know that I was watching something about the Antarctica and how they were shooting lasers up into space. I read about that recently somewhere. I think it maybe YouTube. I saw a video, but it looked just like the laser that I have video of.
Well, I got a feeling since you're next to a military base that they have laser technology. It's been around for a long time, and being next to a base, who knows what kind of action they're preparing for. They're using them. So maybe you're just in the crossfire of some laser exercise that they're targeting.
I don't know. It's weird. All I know is it's weird. And they have, and like I said, I have a green one and I have a purple one. And the videos that I have.
Send it into our Facebook. Send it into our Facebook. We'd sure like to see them. Your name was again?
April.
Just so I can have a heads up. April? Okay, April.
Yeah.
Send it out to Facebook, and we'll definitely share it. It's at our visitors post, Third Phase Minute. The link's at our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Let's get to more callers. Let's bring one more in before we go to break. They've been holding on for a while. Let's see. 863, you're live.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I got you so much better. Thank you for fixing that up.
All right, Blake. Yeah, man. how I've been a long time viewer on YouTube. I got into it on the video you did with the Lake Champlain monster attacking the girl.
Yeah. That's in your face, incredible video. Yeah, that would get me interested in a channel that showcases this stuff. Welcome on the ride of Third Phase of Minimum.
Thank you, sir. And has anything else come up on that?
Nothing. That's it. We did reach out to a marine biologist in the area, and she's in search of the champ herself. So there was a little conflict of interest. She's on a search, but I showed her the video, and then there was really no response after that. And that was there. It is. It kind of reminded me of the Basilosaurus. A what?
Talk about Basilosaurus.
Or a plesiosaurus.
Like the one that the plesiosaur is like the one with the four flippers. But that one kind of reminded me more of the Basilosaurus that was like more like a prehistoric whale that kind of looked reptilian. But that's what it kind of reminded me of. But
that is interesting. I've never even heard of that dinosaur. So that's enlightening. I want to look that up. Say that one again.
Basilosaurus or Zobelodon. Zobelodon is like one of the other names they have for it. But
wow, have you ever seen anything weird in your life that you can't explain?
Yes, I have. And to get back on subject, what ended up happening was I was like around 12 or 13 years old. We moved by a warehouse. Well, not a warehouse, but a airport over by where my mom stays at now. And that was my first time being around the airport, and we used to see all kind of airplanes come in. And one day I went outside. I was getting ready to go play basketball like any other day. And I looked up and I seen this big shiny, like it looked like, it kind of reminded me of a blimp. It was just a little, you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I want to say it's a blimp, but it couldn't be a blimp. And it was that close. It was close enough to where you could see a fuselage like type deal in the front, type deal like a cockpit. And I was sitting there looking at it, and I was just like, it looks like an airplane about to, land at the airport. But it wasn't moving. It was just standing there, sitting there. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's a helicopter. But it didn't make any noise. So then I went back to the whole blimp thing. I'm like, okay, maybe that's a blimp. But it just sat there, and then next thing you know, it moved so fast. I don't know if it went left, right, up, down, or whatever, but it was kind of like a flashlight turning off. Like it just, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it was like, it moved so fast, it just kind of like just phased out of existence type deal. Like it just.
How about this? Maybe because it just takes, sometimes when you see these things and it's a simple blink out, imagine this. It's not just turning off. It's accelerating at a fast speed away from you, and it pretty much blinks out of existence at the proper angle. That's sometimes people. I see a lot of videos out there that are really amazing, that if you could see it take off out of existence. It's just not simply blinking out like a Chinese lantern lost, the candle went out. It's not that. You see it take off. Is that what you're kind of trying to explain?
Yeah, and that's basically what it was like. And I tell people now, like back then, it was kind of like I didn't believe in any of that because, my family is military and airport, Air Force and Marines and everything else in between. Aunt just retired from the Pentagon. And it's like you hear the stories where it's like, oh, there's UFOs, but they're our planes. Like they basically said that, they know that we have vehicles that aren't released to the public. And, it's things that we're never going to be able to see. Hold on. That's my computer. Let me know what time it was. But
there is some strange things going on in regards to this phenomenon. Tell you what, we got a lot of callers coming in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to break. Hang on, everybody, because Wow, I can't believe on how many people want to call in and share their stories. We're going to try and get to them all. Everybody stand by. This is Third Phase of Moon, Blake Cousins. We'll be right back. All right, Third Phase of Moon, Blake Cousins here, taking calls from around the world. It is Friday night, so it is about time to get to some more callers. Wow, there's so many. Let's go to 786. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Welcome to the show. 786, you there?
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, next caller, 207.
Yeah, hi. My name. Hello?
Yes. Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I live in Bangor, Maine, and we're having a thunderstorm right now, and it reminds me of a storm I saw years and years ago, back when I was a preteen.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how believable this is going to sound, but I was outside roughly at 1 o'clock in the morning when I was around 12 or 13 and saw an unusual storm. And it stays in my memory because it had flashes of thunder, flashes of lightning, but no thunder.
Well, how far, you can see lightning from tens, hundreds of miles away.
This was over the house.
You saw the bolt of light?
I saw the bolts of light myself.
And how close do you think? Because I've been close to lightning, man. I know what. I've been close to lightning. I've almost been killed by a lightning flash. So let me. Because
I grew up in a farmhouse, and this was over the house. But there was no.
So you're seeing this phenomenon again right now?
No, not right now. It just brought back the memories of it.
So you think it's going to start to happen again? No?
I don't know. It was just something that I always remembered as being unusual, and I started watching the videos on your show.
This there is some strange weather going on. Don't get me wrong, that there are things that we can't explain. So what you saw when you were 13.
Yeah,
if you know what
if you 30 years ago.
You've witnessed storms. You know what they are. You know how close a lightning bolt is to you, or in reference. And you say that this thing made no noise whatsoever. I could understand this, and it would stick out of my brain too.
Okay, now you've seen a lightning bolt, right?
Yeah, I have.
Have you ever crumbled up a napkin and burned it?
Yeah, with maybe a magnifying glass when I was a kid. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
make fire, campfire,
But you've seen the smoldering embers go through the napkin after it's been burned, right? That's what the lightning looks like in the storm.
Like an ash residue?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And
so you're...
Yeah,
so it almost cauterized the sky and left an ash film.
Yeah, but there was no sound, there was no wind, there was no rain.
I don't know if there's any kind of... I bet you this phenomenon really exists. If anybody else out there has seen a lightning...
it was just me.
I bet you there's not even a name for this. But if we could start getting more callers...
But every time I see a thunderstorm now, it reminds me of it. The memories come back.
That's recall. And recall memory is a very important thing. It just sticks with you. It's embedded in your mind when you have these kind of experiences, whether it's UFO related or what have you. Something that's unusual stands out in your brain, and your brain records it like a flash memory card. So that's good. It's good stuff. And, I thought his experience was, it could be something in the weather that we don't know about, hasn't been written about, hasn't been filmed, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's what it means. It is possible. So let's get some more callers. Third Phase Moon, we're live, 417. Thanks for calling in.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Where are you calling from?
Missouri.
Missouri. What's your name?
Matt, this is the one that was trying to tell you the...
Yeah, that's better. Your audio is much better. Thank you. So important. Okay. So
I do apologize for that.
No problem. That's cool. So let's get to the point where let's almost start from the beginning. I want to get to the tornado action. That's where I want to start from. So let's start from there.
Okay, basically the night before the tornado that hit Joplin, me and my ex-fiance, well, we was abducted, and they was telling us that the next morning that sometime that day that a tornado was going to hit our town, and they told us to, to save people and all that, and I ignored it, but yeah.
Okay, hold on a sec. Have you ever witnessed a tornado for yourself?
Yes, sir, and it's not a good thing.
How close? Yeah, tell me, how close did you get to it? Let me hear what it's like. What's not?
It's like a train, basically a train.
Okay, so you were called in to help after a train basically demolished Joplin.
No, this was the night before Joplin got hit.
Okay, so there's warnings that were possibly like tomorrow could be a bad day. Is that what you're trying to say here? Okay, let's move along, and I want to hear you loud and clear, please. Go ahead.
Okay. We was warned the next day that Joplin was going to get hit by that tornado. And she was killed in the tornado because she saved a little kid from being killed by something in the building. But it was kind of scary that night that we was abducted by the aliens.
So, I'm not sure if I'm getting, so you were abducted by aliens the night before?
Yes,
this
me and my ex, yes.
Your ex-fiance?
Yes,
and this,
me and her was abducted by aliens that warned us about the next day.
I got you. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't get that the aliens warned you. So you had a heads up, and nobody else did, and your friend did it, and that's why he didn't make it the next day.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, but one thing now, this is kind of this is new. I've never heard of that kind of response from an alien intervention to come in and say, "Hey, look, don't go there tomorrow. Something's going to happen."
Yeah.
So where were you when you were abducted? How far from Joplin?
We was in our bedroom, and we was woken up by something woke us up. We heard a noise, and then next thing we know, we are in the UFO.
Wow. Okay. What did that look like?
It was like a bright light, and they looked like a little people, but they was like the grave. And
how many fingers did they have?
I didn't look to see how many fingers. They was just standing there looking at us, not moving and watching us.
Okay, I want to explain to people that. One sec. Your name was again? Max, sorry. Max. People are having a hard time hearing your story, but I just want to explain. Yes, this man and his ex-fiancée were abducted the day before Joplin was hit. They're warned not to go there. Their friend didn't get the message. People lost their lives that day. They were spared. Otherwise, he would have been there. We are aboard the UFO craft, and they are aliens surrounding him and his ex-fiancée. Right, Max?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so you guys are conscious at this point. What's your first response? Are you going to protect your ex-fiancée? Are you afraid?
Yes, I was trying to block her from one of them, and they said, "Don't worry, we're not going to harm you. We're here to warn you about something." And I said, "Okay, tell me, why are you wanting us?" And then that's when they told us about what's going to happen the next day.
Okay, Max, how old are you? May I ask?
19, sir.
19. You're a pretty young man start to get married. Maybe it's a good thing that you're, what, are you single now?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
I was 19 at the time that it happened.
So were you returned before this tornado hit Joplin?
We was turned that like 2 minutes after it happened, and we just woke up and we kind of looked at each other and said, "Do you remember what happened last night?" And we kind of tried to ignore it, and we was going to tell our pastor about it, but we was kind of afraid that he would say it was something like a dream or something like that.
So do you think so you didn't have time to warn anybody, it sounds like. That's would have been great evidence, like if you could have ran around, right? All right, Max. Well, shoot, man, that's an incredible story. I'm glad we got it clear and out there. And, I think it's quite incredible. I just want to, I don't know why the aliens would just get you guys and not at least give you a chance to tell other people. But I don't know what their agenda is. But I'm glad that they warned you, man. Is your ex-fiancée, are you guys still talking?
She was killed in the tornado. She was killed at the Walmart there in Joplin.
Your girlfriend?
Survived it, but
Go ahead.
She was killed by a boulder that hit her. When the building was hit by the tornado, basically one of the pieces basically impaled her.
Wow, sorry, man. I'm just I want to get this thing. I want to get this clear. So she was abducted as well with you, right?
Yes.
And she was warned. She was warned along with you not to go to Joplin.
Yeah, and she did.
Why did she go? Why did she go? If she was warned. So you did have time. You had some time to tell people that you were abducted. There's something gonna hit Joplin, a tornado, and she visits Joplin. Am I wrong or?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so you did have time to warn people then.
She did warn them about something was going to happen, and what I heard from some people that was there with her, she was basically a hero. She saved a lot of people, and at that Walmart, and saved a little girl from being impaled, and that's the last I know of her living.
Wow, this is what a story! What an amazing hero your ex-fiance was. Your guys were going to get married, and she went out to warn people, and she actually saved a lot of people's lives, and then she was taken.
Yes.
Wow, Max. I gotta appreciate you calling into Third Phase Moon. Do you think? Have you been visited since?
on the anniversary, I kind of think I see the UFO that was in our close to our house, but did not talk to me since that occurred. But it's like on the anniversary, I just feel like they're checking up on me and not trying to mess with me. But, you know, it feels weird sometimes knowing that I was abducted and I could have saved more people like my ex-fiancé did on that tragedy evening.
Well, what's her name? Yeah, you can't feel guilty. It's just, it is a special thing that happened, and there are things that are circumstances. There were lives that were saved, so she was a hero. What was her name?
Kelly.
All right.
Kelly.
Well, Max, that is
yes.
I've never heard this before, a story like this. And there was some kind of intervention that happened. I got a feeling there's been a lot of intervention in regards to alien abductions throughout history. So that is, it's just an amazing story. And I believe you, Max. And we think that Kelly was, I believe Kelly was a hero. And don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Any last words? I got to get to another caller. But go ahead.
All right. I'll be following with your Egyptian thing. That's pretty cool. So you have a good evening.
Hey, thank you, Max. Thanks. That's what we do. We let the people share their stories. And, you got to give people their chance, because I bet you would have never thought it would have ended up like this. People are giving their condolences out to Carrie, so that's quite amazing. Let's get to other callers. Let's get to it. This is Third Phase Moon Live Radio, and you're live 781. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Your name, sir?
My name is Mario.
Mario. Okay, right on. What did you think of that last caller? Wasn't that insane?
Yeah, unfortunately, I just tuned in, so I couldn't.
No problem, Mario.
Make out.
No problem. Tune in when we upload this to YouTube tonight. Go ahead.
Okay.
You got a UFO sighting you want to share, Mark?
Yes, I do.
Where did it take place?
Near my house. Like, I live maybe a block down or 2 blocks down from the beach. So it just so happened that I got off work one night and just, I usually just go and hang out at the beach. And I was sitting in one of the life chairs, the lifeguard chairs. And, I was just, I do what I always do, just look around. And I just looked up at the sky.
When you were at the beach?
Yeah, I was at the beach, at the lifeguard chair,
Yep. What beach? What exact beach was this?
It's Revere Beach.
Riviera?
Revere Beach.
Revere. Okay. Where's Revere Beach? What state?
Yeah, that's in Massachusetts.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
so you're on this lifeguard chair, checking out the scene. You're at the beach. Yeah, you're looking around. You look up, not at the sun, I hope. And then what?
No, this happened at night. So I was just looking up, and all of a sudden, I just saw this star. I think, I call it a star because I don't know what it was. But then this thing started moving, it started moving in like a triangle, like going back and forth, making a triangle, and then it stopped, and then it started zigzagging. So I thought I was just hallucinating or something, because I had been working a lot.
I've seen that before. Trust me, it is quite incredible when you see these zigzagging. They're not bugs. They're pretty far away, but they're moving at tremendous speeds, and they're doing these zigzagging maneuvers that you can't explain. Yep. Then what? Anything else?
Yeah. So, I swear to God, I caught this thing on my cell phone, and I had only told one person about this. But then when I try to look at the video, my video card, my memory card just stopped working. It stopped working. I had a bunch of pictures, so I had a bunch of stuff in it, and it just stopped working, And I couldn't. And this is before I even believed in UFOs,
Yeah, you got to see it to believe it. I got you. And it doesn't always work, especially filming a star at night. It's not going to happen. I've seen some incredible stuff. I don't even want to share it to you guys because you guys would just not think it worthy. Trust me, because it's just a light in the sky. But when you see it on the ground yourself, now that's a whole different story. Thanks for calling in, man. We got a few minutes left. Let's get to it. 678, welcome to the show. 678, you there? Okay, we're gonna try and bring in 678 one more time. Maybe they're in a trance. Wake up. You're live. All right, you gotta go. I think we're going to scroll up because there's some callers here that I haven't seen because there's such a stack of callers coming in. So sometimes I got to scroll up. This guy's been waiting for a while here. 720, you're live. Welcome to the show. Anything you want to say about what you heard tonight?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. What's your name?
My name is Manny.
Hey, Manny. You got a
how you doing?
You got a UFO?
Yeah.
Doing good.
On March 23rd, a couple months ago that just passed. About midnight, me and a buddy were driving, heading east.
Let me say this. Hold on a sec. I bet you and your buddy head east all the time, right?
No, not really.
All right. Well, let's just put it this way.
Well,
it's really cool that you mentioned what I'm about to say. It's just you never forget the date when you see a good UFO sighting. So go ahead, March 23rd.
I was the driver. We're heading east to a friend's house. She lives out in the middle of nowhere, pretty much a farmhouse. And I was driving. It was kind of icy out because there was a snowstorm the day before. So it was a little icy out, so I was driving pretty slow and probably going about 20 miles per hour. And then he points up to the window, and he tells me to look out there because he pretty much said, "Hey, what's that?" And then I look up, and I could see it had no lights, it didn't have anything on it. It was just square. It was square with the pointy triangle at the tip, probably 3 light posts up, just moving slowly. And I actually stopped. I started from 20. I reduced to about 5 miles per hour to look. I rolled the window down, and it hovered above us and kept going, traveling west. And it had no lights at all, but you could see it because it was a clear night, and you could see it just moving. And then
what was your friend thinking?
He didn't know what it was. He's the one that pointed it out at first, and he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I don't know, it's probably a UFO or something." But you could see it, and we agreed what it was.
What was it?
It was pretty much a ship. I could see the bottom of it.
So you think it was an alien ship?
Oh, it has to be.
Nice. So what did it look like underneath this?
Underneath it, when you look at it, it's like looking at. Have you ever looked at the when the barbecue is kind of hot and you can see kind of like
the ambers burning and glowing?
Like burning a little bit?
Yeah.
Underneath it is like looking at that. It kind of looks.
Hot.
It had the reflection as well. You can see the reflection of the ship. And underneath it was black and it had a bunch of like, what do you say, like a circuit board looking like?
Nice.
Lines through it.
How close was it to you, would you say?
It was probably about three or four light posts above us.
Nice. So,
it was as big.
90 feet, maybe 150 feet up there.
I want to say more like 300 feet, 400 feet.
Yep. We got small light poles here in the island, so comparatively to the mainland. But let me, so it moved slowly and it didn't make any noise.
No noise at all, with no light.
So what happened to your guys' cell phones? Did you want to shoot?
I was trying to record with my phone, but my phone was dead.
What?
And then,
his phone doesn't surprise me.
It only lasted. I continued driving, so the further I kept driving, it started moving away slowly, and then finally disappeared. We couldn't see it anymore. I couldn't see. I didn't know where it went.
Any military bases close by there? I'm sure there's quite a bit.
No, there is, but not really too close by here.
Well, man, I got a feeling you saw the infamous, the mysterious, the elusive TR-3B reverse engineering craft.
No.
It
was something else. You could, I don't know. It's just, it's not American. We didn't make it.
Nice. That's good, man.
But and just a couple of nights ago, I put the video on YouTube. Me and a buddy were driving out. We're heading west. We were driving west on the highway, and then we got off on a smaller road. We're heading up to go pick up another friend so we could bring them back to town. And I recorded the video and I put it on YouTube. It was like an orange UFO, pretty much at light. At first I recorded the plane. You could see the plane at the bottom, but above it you could actually see the flying ship.
There's some strange crap going on, and he believes it wasn't one of ours. Whether it's reverse engineered or not, it is, or has nothing to do with that. It is just strictly in your face, an alien craft doing its thing. And they got a glimpse of it. Sounds like they got a really good glimpse of it. That's close, 300 feet. Good description, too. Thanks for calling in. Area code 831. We got a couple minutes left. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Sorry, it's at the end of the show. But pretty good. What's your name?
Hey, my name's Drew, and I just want to call him in Santa Cruz. And
I
saw something go over really fast, and it was all the way across the sky. I watched it with binoculars, and then it was gone. And then I heard like a jet engine after it went by. That's pretty much it. It was just faster than anything I'd seen ever in a long time.
It just happened now?
No, it was like a couple days ago. So I listen to your show. Otherwise, I'd be out watching. But
nice.
I like the show. So, yeah.
So this happened.
I got a couple of scopes.
You got to go, you said?
No, I got a couple of telescopes. I'll probably get a scope or two out tonight and have a look and maybe try to videotape some stuff. But I haven't gotten anything that great. I've gotten some interesting stuff, but
yeah. What you saw sounds like it happened so fast. And telescopes aren't the easiest thing to capture anything on. It's got to be steady. Give me a break. So, but it sounds like maybe a lot of people saw it over there? Were you how close to you?
I always watch alone.
But you're on the coast right there. You have beachfront property over there in Malibu.
Oh no, this is Santa Cruz, not Malibu. But yeah, we do have beachfront. I don't
Santa
have
Cruz.
it, but other people do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Well,
I'd call these
Santa Cruz is Go ahead, sir.
Go for it.
I'm just saying, Santa Cruz is.
I've called. Yeah, go for it. I want to hear what you say rather than what I say.
No, man, it's all about the people, the public. It's not me. It's I was just saying, I visited Santa Cruz before. It's a cool town, and it makes me feel like when I was there, it feels like you're in the movie The Lost Boys. I don't know, for some odd reason, but it's a really neat
That's a good
place.
way to describe it. Come on up. You're going to be in California, right? So get up here.
Maybe.
Through the telescope.
Absolutely,
yeah,
maybe. That's cool. Reach out on Facebook. That'd be kind of cool.
Facebook.
Because we might take that the one up there all the way up, because there's a lot of activity, a lot of eyewitnesses in that whole coast. California coast is a hot spot, people.
It's it's the West Coast, and there's not much off like you're in Hawaii. It's kind of like that, except from one side, and that means that stuff that's around out there could be unusual, So there's some stuff, but yeah.
I think they like that they could just zoom in and out, pay a visit to the coastline, and then get out in the middle of the Pacific, or to that possible underwater base right over there in Malibu, and do whatever they want.
They have a tunnel going through. This is, I haven't proved it yet, but when I get a submarine, I will. But there's a tunnel that supposedly goes to Las Vegas or Area 51 from, the trench here, right off the coast, off Moss Landing. Check that out.
We'll do. Any more tips? Any more, man?
I don't know. I want to listen to some other stories, so let's have some cool stories.
That is amazing. We had some amazing stories tonight, and I thank you for calling in. Reach out on Facebook, and maybe we'll visit on our way through. If we go through to all the way to Santa Cruz, yes, that would be kind of cool. There was amazing stories tonight, and unfortunately, it's the end of the show, people. But you know what? We'll be back next week, Friday, same time. Quite amazing. People call in from around the world. And don't forget, Third Phase of Moon, our YouTube channel, 350,000 subscribers, and the most watched YouTube channel in regard to the UFO phenomenon. Hundreds of millions of times viewed from around the world. So people are sharing right now. So we're going to be sharing that all week long on our YouTube channel. Join us again next week. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. And again, Kelly,